The sun shines brightly, its warm rays filling the room as I stand in front of the mirror. Today is one of the most important days of my life. My friends flutter around me, fixing my hair and adjusting my vintage wedding dress. It flows like a dream, making me feel like a princess. Yet, as I gaze into the mirror, an unsettling feeling creeps in. What if something goes wrong? "Are you ready?" my best friend Sarah asks, her voice full of excitement. I force a smile, but deep down, a knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. I can't shake the feeling that something is off. Nathan, my fiancé, should be here by now. He is usually so attentive and loving, but today he seems distant, almost like a shadow of himself. I catch a glimpse of him in the church entrance, his expression unreadable. Is he nervous too? "Look at you! You're stunning!" Sarah exclaims, pulling me back to the moment. I nod, but it feels like I'm on autopilot. I can hear the whispers of laughter and joy from the guests gathering outside, but my heart races with unease. What is happening to me? Why can't I just be happy? As the music begins to play, I take a deep breath and step outside. The aisle stretches before me, lined with flowers, and I can see the smiling faces of my friends and family. But just as I start to walk, I feel another wave of anxiety wash over me. What if Nathan doesn't love me the way I love him? "Just focus on him," I whisper to myself, trying to calm the storm inside. I take each step slowly, but my heart pounds louder with every beat. I glance at Nathan as I approach the altar, and he meets my gaze. For a brief moment, everything feels right. But why does he look so distracted? My mind races as I stand beside him, holding his hands. "Are you okay?" I ask softly, searching his eyes for reassurance. "Yeah, just a little nervous," he replies, but there's a flicker of something in his eyes, a shadow that makes me question his words. I force myself to push the worry aside. Today is about love, after all. The ceremony unfolds, and I try to smile genuinely as we exchange vows. But the air feels heavy, and my heart sinks as I sense a dark cloud looming over us. Suddenly, my phone buzzes violently in my pocket, breaking the moment. I glance down, and my stomach drops as I read the message from my friend. "I saw Nathan with another woman last night. He doesn't deserve you." Time freezes. My heart races as I try to process the words. No, this can't be happening. I look at Nathan, who is smiling at me, and I feel a chilling wave wash over me. This is supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but it's turning into a nightmare. The world around me blurs. Guests' laughter sounds distant, and I feel like I'm floating above it all. I am not just a bride right now. I am a woman facing betrayal on the most significant day of my life. How can I stand here and pretend everything is perfect? I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but the knot in my stomach tightens. I don't want to believe the message, but doubt seeps into my heart. Who is this woman? Why did Nathan betray me? My mind races with questions, and the joy of the day starts to slip away. As I stand there, I realize I have a choice to make. I can either let this moment break me, or I can confront it. My heart pounds as I look at Nathan again. The warmth of the moment feels like a fading dream. How did we get here? How can I confront him without ruining everything? I steal another glance at my friends and family, their faces full of love and joy. They deserve better than this. I take a deep breath and prepare for what comes next. The storm may be coming, but I refuse to let it take away my strength. Today I will seek the truth, no matter the cost. As the ceremony unfolds, I stand next to Nathan, my heart racing in a mix of joy and dread. The sun streams through the stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the floor. I try to focus on the vows we are exchanging, but a heavy weight presses down on me. My smile feels genuine, yet something deep inside whispers that all is not right. Do you, Nathan, take this woman? The officiant's voice echoes around the church. I hear the words, but they sound distant, like they are coming from underwater. I can see Nathan's lips moving, and I know he is saying the right things, but my gut churns. I steal a glance at my friends, their faces beaming with joy, and I want to feel the same way. But the unease clings to me like a shadow. Just as Nathan is about to say, I do, my phone vibrates in my pocket. I pull it out, glancing at the screen, hoping for a message of love or support. Instead, my heart drops as I read the words from my friend Sarah. I saw Nathan with another woman last night. He doesn't deserve you. Time stops. The music fades, and the laughter around me becomes a dull roar. I feel a chill wash over me, freezing my thoughts. Nathan's face, once so warm and familiar, now seems foreign. I can't breathe. The beautiful wedding dress that felt so magical just moments ago now feels like a heavy shroud. Are you okay? Nathan whispers, his brow furrowed with concern. His voice reaches me through the haze, and I look into his eyes. I want to believe him, to trust him, but a storm brews inside me. I begin, my voice trembling. I just got a message. What is it? His eyes flash with uncertainty, and I can see the tension in his shoulders. I hesitate, wondering if I should tell him right here, in front of our friends and family, or if I should confront him later when we are alone. I take a deep breath and decide it's time to face the truth, no matter how painful. Sarah saw you with another woman last night. A flicker of surprise crosses his face, followed by a quick mask of annoyance. That's ridiculous. You know Sarah likes to exaggerate. My heart races faster. I need to know the truth, Nathan. Did you cheat on me? The words hang in the air, heavy and sharp. He opens his mouth to respond, but before he can say anything, I feel another wave of determination wash over me. Instead of letting this moment break me, I feel an unexpected calmness settle over me. I straighten my back, my voice steady. I want to confront this together. I need to know. Bring her here. Nathan's face pales, and I can see his world crumbling. What? No! You can't do that, he pleads, panic rising in his voice. I can, and I will. We deserve the truth, Nathan. I turn to the guests, my friends and family, who watch in stunned silence. If anyone has something to say, now is the time. The room feels electric, eyes darting between Nathan and me. I pull my phone from my pocket, my hands shaking as I text Sarah, asking her to come to the church. I look at Nathan, whose expression shifts from defiance to fear. He knows he has lost control of the situation. What do you think this will accomplish? He snaps, his voice tight with anger. You're ruining our wedding day. No, Nathan, you are ruining our wedding day. You had a choice, and you made it. I can feel the heat rising in my cheeks, but I hold my ground. I refuse to back down. As Sarah arrives, her expression shifts from confusion to shock when she sees me standing tall, demanding answers. Nathan's face drains of color, and I can see the horror in his eyes as she steps closer. What's going on? She asks, glancing between us. Tell me everything, I say, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. This is where my journey begins, and I won't let betrayal define me. I am ready for the truth, no matter how painful it may be. As I stood there, a strange calmness washed over me. It felt almost surreal, like I was floating above the chaos that was about to unfold. I took a deep breath, steadied my shaking hands, and prepared to confront Nathan. I had made a choice. I would not let this day be stolen from me without a fight. I turned to the other woman, who was still standing near the entrance of the church, uncertainty written all over her face. You deserve to know the truth, I said, my voice steady. And so does he. I gestured for her to join us at the altar. Nathan's eyes widened as he spotted her. The color drained from his face, and I could see the panic rising in him. "What are you doing?" he whispered, his voice barely audible over the murmurs of the guests. "I'm giving you a chance to be honest, Nathan," I replied, my heart pounding in my chest. "You owe us that much." The guests, who had been smiling and laughing just moments before, now looked on in shock. I felt the weight of their gazes, but I refused to be intimidated. I drew strength from their presence, reminding myself that I was not alone in this moment. "Is it true?" I asked Nathan, my voice steady. "Were you with her last night?" He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. I could see the internal struggle on his face. The truth was catching up with him, and he knew it. "I saw you," I continued, my voice rising. "I received a message from a friend. She saw you with her. You can't deny it." "I was going to tell you," Nathan stammered, desperation creeping into his tone. I didn't know how." "Didn't know how?" I echoed, incredulous. "You could have told me the truth at any time." "This is my wedding day, Nathan. You have shattered everything." I turned to the other woman who had been silent, her eyes filled with confusion and hurt. "I'm sorry you're caught in this," I said softly, "but you deserve to hear what he has to say, just like I do." She nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I thought he cared about me." Nathan's face twisted in pain, and I could see the reality of his actions crashing down on him. "I made a mistake," he said, his voice breaking. "I never meant for this to happen." "No, you didn't just make a mistake," I shot back, raising my voice. "You made a choice. You chose to betray me. You chose to lie. And now we are all standing here because of your choices." The silence in the church was deafening. I could feel the tension thick in the air, as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. "I loved you," Nathan said, desperation lacing his words. "I still do. Can't we just forget this? Start over?" "Forget?" I laughed bitterly. "You think I can just forget this? Nathan, this isn't just some little mistake. You've broken my trust. You've broken us." As I stood there, I felt a surge of strength. I was no longer the scared bride standing at the altar. I was a woman who had faced the truth and refused to back down. "I want you to understand what you've done," I said, my voice unwavering. "You've hurt not just me, but her too. You owe us both the truth." Nathan looked at the woman, and I could see a flicker of guilt in his eyes. "I never meant to hurt you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't want your pity," she replied, her voice strong despite the tears. "I want honesty. If you care about either of us, you'll tell us the truth." The weight of the moment hung heavy in the air, and I knew we were reaching a turning point. Nathan took a deep breath, and for the first time, I saw a hint of vulnerability in his eyes. "Okay," he said finally, his voice trembling. "You're right. I was with her. I didn't know how to tell you I'm so sorry." The confession felt like a punch to the gut, but somehow I felt lighter. The truth was out. I had confronted the darkness, and now it was time to face whatever came next. The room felt electric, a thick mix of disbelief and tension hanging in the air. Gone were the cheerful smiles and soft whispers of joy. Instead, gasps echoed around us as guests absorbed the shocking turn of events. I stood at the front of the church, Nathan's betrayal laid bare, and I could feel the weight of their eyes on me, a mix of pity and concern. "Sarah, please," Nathan pleaded, his voice shaky. "Let's just talk about this somewhere private." I shook my head, my heart racing but my resolve steady. "No, Nathan. This is the time for truth. You chose to betray me in front of everyone, and now you will face the consequences." The other woman, who had been so silent until now, took a step forward. "I didn't know," she whispered, her eyes wide with shock. "I swear I had no idea you were getting married today." I could see the hurt in her expression, and part of me felt a strange empathy for her. "You might not have known, but that doesn't make it right. Nathan had a choice, and he chose to hurt both of us." As I looked around the room, I saw faces filled with shock and concern. Some of my friends looked ready to comfort me, while others seemed frozen in disbelief. I took a deep breath, feeling the strength surge within me. This moment was not just about Nathan's betrayal. It was about all of us. I could feel the pain of others who had faced similar heartbreak, and I realized I was not alone. "Nathan," I said, my voice steady, "you think you can stand there and justify what you did? You think you can talk your way out of this?" He opened his mouth, but no words came. Instead, his expression twisted into one of desperation. "It was a mistake, Sarah. I was drunk. I didn't mean for it to happen." "Drunk?" I scoffed, shaking my head. "That's your excuse? You think I will accept that? You made a choice, Nathan. You chose to betray me, and now you have to face the truth." The guests were shifting in their seats now, whispers of, "Oh my God," and "Did that really just happen?" rippling through the crowd. I felt the power of my voice, the clarity of my message. This was my moment to reclaim my narrative, to show everyone that I would not be a victim of this situation. "Nathan, you don't get to control this story anymore. You don't get to decide how this ends," I said, my heart pounding in my chest. "I am taking back my power." He looked at me, his eyes widening with realization. "You don't mean that. We can fix this." "Fix it?" I laughed, the sound bitter on my lips. "You think we can just sweep this under the rug? You have shattered my trust. You have shattered everything we built together." The other woman stood frozen, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, I didn't know," she repeated, her voice trembling. "I never wanted to come between you two." "It's not just you," I said, my heart aching for her as well. "Nathan is the one who crossed the line. You deserve to know the truth, too." The atmosphere in the church shifted. The gasps turned into murmurs of empathy, and I could sense the guests leaning in, desperate to understand what was happening. I could see some of my friends nodding, their expressions filled with support. "I know this is hard for everyone to witness, but I refuse to let this define me," I continued, my voice rising with strength. "I will not let Nathan's choices dictate my happiness or my future. I will rise from this." Nathan's expression shifted, a mix of anger and fear. "You think you can just walk away from this? You think you can do better?" "Yes, I can," I replied firmly. "I will. I deserve better, and I will find it. I'm not going to let you drag me down with your mistakes." As I looked around the room, I saw understanding and support in the eyes of my friends. I felt a surge of strength that I had never known before. This was not just about a wedding gone wrong. It was about finding my voice, claiming my power, and moving forward. As Nathan stood there, his facade crumbling, I knew I was ready to step into my own truth. I was not just a bride betrayed. I was a woman reclaiming her story, and I was ready for whatever came next. As the ceremony comes to an abrupt end, I feel a rush of emotions flooding through me. I step away from Nathan, my heart pounding, but this time, it's not from fear. It feels like the weight of the world has lifted off my shoulders. I glance around the church, seeing the shocked faces of our friends and family. They were here to celebrate love, but now they bear witness to my awakening. "Are you okay?" My best friend, Emma, rushes to my side. Her voice is filled with concern, but I can see a spark of admiration in her eyes. "I will be," I reply, my voice steadier than I expected. "I'm done being a victim." The guests, once celebrators of love, now stand in a mix of disbelief and empathy. Whispers ripple through the crowd as they process what just happened. I see the woman Nathan betrayed me with, standing a short distance away. There's a flicker of understanding in her eyes. We are both broken, but in this moment, I no longer feel alone. "Can you believe him?" Emma asks, shaking her head. "I thought he was better than this." "I did too," I admit, my gaze still fixed on Nathan. He stands there, his face pale and filled with regret, yet I feel no sympathy for him. But I realize now that I deserve so much more. The crisp autumn breeze sweeps through the open doors of the church, brushing against my skin. It feels refreshing, almost like a promise of new beginnings. I take a deep breath, inhaling the scent of fallen leaves and freedom. I'm ready to forge a new path forward, one that does not include Nathan. As I step outside, the sunlight hits my face. I close my eyes for a moment, soaking in the warmth. "I'm free," I whisper to myself, feeling the power of those words. "Let's get out of here," Emma says, looping her arm through mine. "You deserve a drink, a real celebration of you, not him." "Sounds perfect," I reply, smiling for the first time today. The thought of leaving this place behind fills me with excitement. I look back at the church one last time, a symbol of my past hopes and dreams. But now it's just a building. The real journey is ahead of me. We walk to the car and I can hear the murmur of voices behind us. Some guests are still processing the events that unfolded. I can't help but wonder what they will say about me. But for the first time, I don't care. Their opinions no longer define my worth. As we drive away, I glance at Emma. "Thank you for being here. I don't know what I would do without you." "You'll never have to find out," she assures me, her smile brightening my mood. "You're stronger than you think, and this is just the beginning. We'll get through this together." I nod, feeling a sense of gratitude swell within me. I'm surrounded by people who love me, who will support me through this heartbreak. I realize that I am not alone. The love I once sought from Nathan is now blooming around me, nurturing my spirit. Once we reach a cozy little cafe, I order a coffee and look around. The place is warm and inviting, filled with laughter and chatter. I can't help but smile. This is what life is about, finding joy even after pain. As we sit at a table, I feel a sense of clarity wash over me. "What now?" I ask Emma, my mind racing with possibilities. "Well," she says thoughtfully, "you could take some time for yourself. Travel, explore, find out what makes you happy outside of relationships." "I like that idea," I say, my heart swelling with hope. "I want to learn more about who I am without Nathan. I want to rediscover my passions." "And you will," she replies, raising her cup, "to new beginnings and the amazing woman you are becoming." I lift my cup, clinking it against hers. "To new beginnings," I echo, feeling a sense of empowerment. I have risen from the ashes, and now I am ready to embrace whatever comes next. I am no longer defined by betrayal. I am reclaiming my narrative. The journey ahead may be uncertain, but I am ready to face it head-on, filled with hope and determination. The day after what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life came with a heavy weight on my shoulders. I stood in front of the mirror, pulling my hair into a loose bun. The vintage wedding dress still hung in the closet, a painful reminder of shattered dreams. Instead of feeling like a princess, I felt like a survivor. I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, "Today is about me." As I stepped out of my apartment, the crisp autumn air felt refreshing against my skin. I was ready to embrace my independence, but the support of my friends was just as important. I met Sarah at our favorite coffee shop. She greeted me with a warm hug and a big smile. "You look amazing. How are you holding up?" "I'm okay," I replied, trying to sound more confident than I felt. "I think I'm finally starting to understand that I deserve better." We settled into a cozy corner of the cafe, sipping our lattes. Sarah looked at me intently. "What do you want to do next? What are your plans?" I paused for a moment, feeling the weight of the question. I want to focus on myself. I want to explore who I am outside of Nathan. I've been so consumed by our relationship that I forgot about my own dreams. That's a great start. You're strong and you've got this, Sarah encouraged, her eyes shining with belief. I smiled, feeling a flicker of hope. I guess I have to find my own path now. I want to travel, learn new things, and maybe even meet new people. Definitely. You could start with that art class you always talked about, Sarah suggested. Yes, I've wanted to paint again for so long. I'll sign up today. I felt a rush of excitement wash over me. The thought of creating something new felt liberating. As we chatted, I couldn't help but think about Nathan. I knew I needed to reflect on everything that had happened. You know, I learned a lot from my relationship with Nathan, I said, my voice steady. It taught me what I do not want in my life. Sarah nodded. That's important. You need to recognize your worth. You deserve someone who loves you fully and honestly. I took a sip of my latte, savoring the warmth. I see that now. I won't settle for less than I deserve. I want a love that lifts me up, not tears me down. After our coffee date, I spent the afternoon journaling in the park. The leaves crunched under my feet, and the sun warmed my back. I wrote about my hopes and dreams, my fears and strengths. Each word felt like a step towards healing. I scribbled, I am worthy of true happiness. Later that night, I called my mom. Hey, Mom, I just wanted to let you know that I'm okay. I'm ready to start a new chapter. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so proud of you, she said, her voice filled with love. It takes a lot of courage to move on like this. I've realized that I can't let Nathan define me. I want to build a life that makes me happy, I replied, my heart swelling with determination. That's the spirit. Remember, I'm here for you every step of the way. As I hung up, I felt lighter. The weight of sorrow was still there, but it was mixed with a newfound strength. I was ready to face whatever came next. The days turned into weeks, and I immersed myself in new experiences. I signed up for that art class and met wonderful people who inspired me. I painted with colors I had never used before, feeling free and alive. I began to understand that my worth was not tied to Nathan or anyone else. One evening, I sat in front of my easel, painting a sunset. A splash of orange and pink filled the canvas. It was beautiful, just like my future could be. I whispered to myself, I am ready for love again, but this time on my own terms. With each stroke of my brush, I embraced the journey ahead. I had risen from the ashes of heartbreak, and I was ready to fly. Share this story if you believe that self-discovery can lead to a brighter future. Leave a comment about a moment when you embraced change and how it transformed your life. Subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.